This video lesson is a bonus lesson for Chapter 7, E for Extra. And in this lesson, students are going to learn how to solve two-step equations. Before you get started, please come see me and get the pink practice sheet. It is required because that is the sheet that you will take your notes on during this video. So continue the video when you are ready. When you're solving two-step equations, we have to remember our PEMDAS. Okay? And because we're doing two steps, inverse operations, remember, we had said that the inverse of addition was subtraction, and so vice versa, the inverse of subtraction is addition, and the inverse for multiplication was division, and so the inverse for division was multiplication. So when we are working on solving two-step equations, it means that we are undoing, or the reverse, or undoing more than one step. And when this happens, we have to do the order of operations backwards. So it's SADMEP instead of PEMDAS. So the biggest rule that you have to remember is that we undo that adding and subtracting first before you can undo multiplying and dividing. So here are two examples that we'll solve together. Now notice we have addition in this equation, and with that fraction bar we also have division going on. So remember, we have to reverse or do the inverse of our PEMDAS. So we're going to start with looking at this adding of 8. The 8 is attached to this x divided by 5 with addition. So to get rid of it, we're going to subtract 8 from both sides of the equation. When we do this, the 8's cancel out, and so all that remains on this left side is x over 5. And over on the other side, when we subtract 8 from 22, we get 14. Now, we're going to keep continuing to solve. And at this point, now we only have one kind of math. We have division on this side. And we want this variable x all by itself, because that's our goal when we're solving equations. So when we're taking x over 5, that means we're doing division. So to get rid of it, we're going to multiply both sides then by 5. So when we have it set up like this, the 5's then cancel. If I divide a number by 5 and then I multiply it by 5, I'm back just to that number, which is x. And then over on this side, 5 times 4 is 20, carry the 2. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 more is 7. So let's check our equation and see if this works. If we take 8 plus 70 divided by 5 equals 22. Is this a true statement? Now with order of operations, we're going to do division before we do addition. So 70 divided by 5 is 14. Then our second step would be to add 8 and 14, which is 22. So 22 is equal to 22. So the answer for this problem is x is equal to 70. Let's try another one. So over here we have 2x, which means multiplication, subtract 12, and equals 8. So I'm seeing two kinds of math, so this tells me it's a two-step equation. I have multiplication and subtraction, and remember we're doing PEMDAS in the reverse order. So subtraction has to be done first, then we'll deal with that multiplication. So the 2x is attached to the 12 with subtract 12, so I'm going to use the inverse operation of addition to get rid of it. So the 12's cancel out, and on this side of my equation I have 2x, and then I add 8 plus 12 is 20. So now I'm down to just my multiplication here. Remember 2 times x, so to get rid of it I'm going to divide by 2 on both sides of the equation. The 2's cancel, leaving x all by itself, and 20 divided by 2 is 10. So let's plug this into our equation and see if it works. If we take 2 times 10, subtract 12, do we get 8? Well, 2 times 10 is 20. Subtract 12, is that indeed 8? It is. 20 minus 12 is 8, and 8 is equal to 8. So our final answer is x equals 10. Let's try a couple more. So over here we have 8x, which means 8 times x, plus 32 equals 80. So we have multiplication and addition, and we're reversing our PEMDAS. So we're going to start off by subtracting the 32 from both sides of our equation. The 32 cancel out, and we have 8x then is equal to, and if we subtract, 10 minus 2 is 8, 7 minus 3 is 4. Now we have our 8 and the x sitting next to each other, which means multiply, so we're going to divide by 8 on this side and divide by 8 on the right side. So x is equal to 6. So let's check and see if this works. If we take 8 times 6 plus 32, do we get 80? Well, 8 times 6 is 48, plus the 32, 10 carry the 1, we get 80 is equal to 80. So the correct answer is 6 times x equals 6. So why don't you go ahead and try number 4 on your own. Pause the recording and turn it back on and see if your answer matches mine. So how did you do? I got x is equal to 15. I did this by taking the 76 was there, so I subtracted 76 off of the left side, and so I did it over here on the right side. And all I was left with is 8x equals 120. And I divided by 8, and when I divided by 8, I got 15. So here we have 2 more problems to practice with. And what makes these different is that we have negative numbers or integers in here. And I know a lot of you that have been watching this video have done that integer practice on adding and subtracting integers. So we're going to start off with this negative 20. It's being added to the 12x. So to get rid of it, we have to, it's kind of like, this is like saying subtract 20. So we're going to add 20, which would be the inverse, to both sides. So the 20s will cancel, and we'll be left with 12x equals 72. So to get rid of the 12x, we're going to divide by 12 on both sides. The 12s will cancel, leaving us with the x all by itself. And we know that 6 times 12 is 72, and that's my answer. So let's check it out. Negative 20 plus 12 times 6 will equal 52. So negative 20 plus 72 equals 52. So when we were talking about integers before, we talked about that we can, if they are different signs, we actually subtract. So 72, take away 20 is 52, and the 72 was positive and it has more of it, so it keeps its sign. So 52 is equal to 52. Let's go ahead and try the next one together. We have negative 44 plus 9x. So negative 44 is like subtracting 44. So we're going to add 44 to the left and add 44 to the right. The 44s cancel out, and we're left with 9x on the left. And 9 plus 4 is 13. Carry the 1, we get 153. So to get rid of the 9, we're going to divide by 9 on the x. We're going to divide by 9 on both sides. And the 9's cancel, leaving us with x. So 153 divided by 9. 9 goes into 15 once. Subtract, we get 6. Bring down the 3. And 9 goes into 63 7 times. And we'll have no remainder left over, so the answer is 17. All right, at this point, that's the end of this lesson. Come in, or your practice assignments are in Moodle. Go ahead and open the extra bonus package and get started on the worksheets. Then come see me if you have any questions. Good luck.